The Reserve Bank of New Zealand has hiked their interest rate. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because the Kiwis, well, they can't be outdone by the Australians. They've hiked their cash rate by 0.5% or 50 basis points. If we jump over to the left screen here, we can see, there you go, it's shot up 3.5%. Not bad. And they've met consensus and expectations. Let's jump out to 25 years and we can look at that climb. Look at that climb. Sugar. I mean, look at that. Guys, that's going to sting for some people there. The housing market in New Zealand has just been it's just gone insane. It's in some way, it's actually worse than Australia, I suspect, from what I've read and what I've heard. Oh boy. So let's have a look at this article, guys. So, New Zealand raises the official cash rate to 3.5%. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand has diverged from the Australian course, lifting the official cash rate by 50 basis points to 3.5% at its October meeting. A day after the Reserve Bank of Australia snapped a run of 4 consecutive 50 basis points hikes to lift by 25 points, the RBNZ opted to maintain the rage in its own fight with inflation. The summary record from Wednesday's Monetary Policy Committee meeting suggests the RBNZ flirted with the unprecedented triple rise of 75 basis points. Okay, good luck trying to fight inflation there. Good luck. The committee considered, I mean, this is the thing, they crash the rates, create all these problems. People get sucked in. I mean, do people still trust them? Whole generation are going to become, bitter with the reserve banks and all become, real money proponents. Back to the old ways. The committee considered whether to increase the official cash rate by 50 or 75 basis points. The bank's governor, Adrian Orr, said. Some members highlighted that a larger increase in the OCR now would reduce the likelihood of a higher peak. Other members emphasized the degree of policy tightening delivered to date. On balance, the committee agreed that a 50 basis point increase was appropriate at this meeting. Now just think about that. A bunch of people sitting around in a committee meeting can have so much of an impact on the way you live your life. It's going to impact so many people and their discretionary spending, their ability to keep their homes. So, I mean, I haven't been following, have the Kiwi Reserve Bank, did their governor make promises that they wouldn't increase the cash rate until 2024? Or did the media report it like that? Let me know, Kiwis, in the comments, please. It is the 8th consecutive rise dating back to last October, and the 5th consecutive hike of 50 basis points, as the RBNZ looks to tame headline inflation of 7.3%. I mean, if they're how is this going to affect import-driven inflation, which is, I guess maybe it'll increase the purchasing power of the dollar in New Zealand, so it might offset some of all of these supply-driven costs. That figure, measuring consumer price index inflation, was last measured in July, with new figures due in 2 weeks. So, well, we'll have to see. NZ's unemployment rate, which with inflation forms the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's dual mandate, sits near record lows of 3.3%. I mean, do they want wage growth? This is one way to get it. It's going to be tough in New Zealand. Wednesday's decision was in line with market and industry expectations, with all major Kiwi banks believing the OCR will top 4% in early 2023. Okay, so top 4%. Go back to this chart here. When's the last time we had it? Back here. Just when it crashed after the GFC, it went down over 8%. Let's go to max. I mean, what happened here, guys? Can someone let me know what happened here? Over 60%. Is that an error in the database? Who was in charge then? I remember the New Zealand dollar used to be a lot cheaper compared to the Aussie dollar, and people would come over here to work and, live quite comfortably in New Zealand or double their money. I mean, look at the cash rate. So it's been going down, had a big jump there, been going down, and we're going right back up again. 4%, guys. ANZ New Zealand believes, why is it ANZ New Zealand? It shouldn't be ANZ, Australia, New Zealand anyway. Believes the OCR will hit 4.75% in mid-2022. Westpac's NZ forecast is 4.5%, and ASB has tipped a peak at 4.25. In making Wednesday's decision, Mr. Orr pointed to a number of global factors, including heightened consumer price pressures, demand for goods and services outstripping supply, and food and energy prices being particularly exacerbated by the war in Ukraine. A recent decline in oil prices and an easing in some supply chain constraints have seen headline inflation measures fall in some countries. However, core measures of inflation have risen and persisted, he said. In New Zealand, the level of domestic spending has remained resilient to date in the face of slowing global growth and higher domestic interest rates. Employment levels are high and household balance sheets remain resilient despite the fall in house prices. New Zealand's productivity capacity is still being constrained by labour shortages and wage pressures are heightened. The New Zealand dollar rose on the announcement, up 1 Australian cent to 89 cents and half a US cent to almost 58 cents, while the NZX 50 was steady. So there we go, everyone. Let's have a look at some more stats from New Zealand here on trading economics while we're here. I mean, let's look at the unemployment rate. That's really low. It's gone up though. It's gone up to 3.3%. Let's go to 25 years. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. That big spike here with the lockdowns when everyone was stopped from working, and it's crashed, and now it's still very low. Very low. And it's worse than forecasts and expectations. So they expected it to go down, and it went up. So what does that tell you? What else can we see here? GDP. It's all over the place. So that's the recession. Then they had that last recession there, another one. And it's, we've got 10 years. There you go. So, yeah. So it beat consensus and the forecast significantly, actually, 1.7% compared to what was expected. And let's finish up by having a look at hang on. We'll look at the NZUSD. So 57 cents at the time of recording. And it's just been going down all year. We've got 50 years. Yeah, there we go. $1.50 and 73 there. Well, that was a different world then. But yeah, she's been at a low point now. Hasn't been this low since 2009. We'll have to see where it goes. This is going to affect cost of living because of so many things that are imported into New Zealand, similar to Australia. Anyway, let's have a talk. So there we go, guys. They could have gone harder. They were thinking about 75 points. They only went 50. This is going to affect the average people in New Zealand because their housing sector just went as insane as ours. We'll have to wait and see. How long will it last? What will they destroy to try and get this inflation under control, and how much impact can they actually have? That's something we'll only be able to know with hindsight. As always, thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, HeiseBim and HeiseSays International, for other content I create. And if you're a fan and want to support the channel, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links, buying our merch, or calling us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.